Now let's move on to the last topic from centrifugal pump. So that is, there are two topics in this. First one, efficiencies of the pump, and then the next one is minimum starting speed required for the centrifugal pump. Okay. So in the turbines case, we have seen the various efficiencies. So it was hydraulic efficiency, mechanical efficiency, and then finally the overall efficiency. Okay, so if you remember me telling about the efficiencies later, back then, it's like the turbine followed this particular order, right? The hydraulic energy is getting converted to mechanical energy. So first what will come? Input will be your water power, then that is transferred to your runner, so that becomes your runner power, and then finally it is used for the rotation of the shaft or the development of shaft power. So this is how you had the process taking place in your hydraulic turbine. Okay, so the reverse case will happen in the case of a centrifugal pump. So that means first mechanical energy getting converted to hydraulic energy. So first what will happen is the shaft rotates, right? So it's the shaft power developed, and then finally this gets converted, or this is used for rotating the impeller, so that gives rise to, instead of runner power we have impeller in the pump, so we have impeller power. Finally the impeller is exerting finally getting into the water power, okay, or it is exerting a torque on the water. So we have shaft power converted to the impeller power, and then that is given rise to the water power. Okay, so first we will see the efficiency, which is known as hydraulic efficiency, or eta hydraulic, or it is also called as manometric efficiency. Okay, manometric efficiency, which is denoted as eta mano. Okay, so manometric efficiency is nothing but the hydraulic efficiencies. Okay, so if you remember, you always consider that particular part which is having hydraulic efficiency, so which is taking into account the water part. Okay, so if you look at here, the water power, impeller power, this is the place where actually hydraulic efficiency will come into play, right? So eta mano or eta hydraulic is equal to output power by input power. So if you look at this particular thing, what is the output power? It is water power. What is the input power? It is the impeller power. Okay, so we have output water power as rho g q into h. Here head is manometric head we call, so we call it as hm. Impeller power we have derived that it is rho q vw2 into u2. So rho gets cancelled, q gets cancelled, so finally I have hm g divided by vw2 u2, which I can rewrite it as hm divided by vw2 u2. This g I am taking it to the denominator. Okay, so this is the expression for manometric head, manometric efficiency eta mano. Okay, so how can I redefine this one? I can say that hm is the manometric head. Okay, so manometric head means it is the head of water, actual head of water that is available from the pump casing to the exit. Okay, so from this particular point, from this particular point to the exit, what is the actual head that is available? We call it as the manometric head. Okay, so that is denoted by hm here. Okay, so hm, that is the output, divided by vw2 into u2 by g is nothing but what is the Euler head. If you remember Euler head, it was a theoretical head, right? When we don't consider any friction, or when we consider it as a well ideal case, what is the theoretical head which can be imparted by the impeller to the water is known as the Euler head. Okay, so that is the ratio hm divided by vw2 u2 by g, which you can derive directly from water power by impeller power equation also. Okay, so please keep this equation in your mind, because we need this for our next derivation of minimum starting speed. So what is manometric head? The actual head which is available from the impeller to the pump casing exit. Okay, so next efficiency is mechanical efficiency. Okay, I think you should be able to tell yourself. Eta mechanical, where does mechanical efficiency come into play? Shaft and impeller, this part, right? So it is output is impeller power, we take this part. Input is shaft power. So ratio of impeller power to shaft power. Impeller power, what was the equation? We know rho q vw2 into u2. shaft power, if you remember design aspect, we have learned 2 pi nt divided by 60. Okay. So if everything is given and asked to find out mechanical efficiency, you should be able to do it. Shaft power is always 2 pi n into t by 60, where t is the torque on the shaft and capital N is the speed of the shaft in rotations per minute. Last one is overall efficiency. Eta overall will be the final output is water power. The initial input is shaft power. So what is water power? Rho g q into h divided by the shaft power is 2 pi nt divided by 60. So rho g qh divided by 2 pi nt by 60 is the overall efficiency. Then you have one more efficiency in the case of pump, that is volumetric efficiency. Volumetric efficiency is actually the ratio of water discharged per second from the pump to the quantity of water which is flowing per second through the impeller. Okay, so input will be whatever is the quantity of water which is flowing per second through the impeller. Output will be whatever is the water discharged per second from the pump. So output by input will be your volumetric efficiency. Okay, so it takes into account the volume loss of water. How much volume has been lost is taken care of by volumetric efficiency. So it is the ratio of water discharged from the pump. Water discharged per second from pump to the initial input was actually the water flowing, right? So quantity of water flowing per second through impeller. So that's the volumetric efficiency. So these are the efficiencies. Now let's move on to the minimum starting speed derivation. Okay. Minimum starting speed of a centrifugal pump. Very important question, very important question from examination point of view. Okay, so when the pump is actually started, okay, by switching on electric motor, so there will be no flow of water. Okay, when you suddenly switch on the motor, there will not be a sudden flow of water until the pressure rise in the impeller is so large that it overcomes the manometric head. Okay, or I can say that at the starting time the fluid velocities will be 0. Okay, or when the impeller is rotating, the water in contact with the impeller will also start rotating. Okay, so this is actually called as a forced vortex flow. So the centrifugal head which is created in the pump, okay, or the increase of pressure head of water in the impeller due to this centrifugal force is given by U2 square minus U1 square divided by 2G. Okay, so this is actually the centrifugal head created in the pump when the impeller is rotating. Okay, centrifugal head equation is U2 square minus U1 square divided by 2G. Okay, so there will be no flow of water until the speed of the pump is such that the required centrifugal head is developed. Okay, so unless and until we get the required one, the required centrifugal head, there will be no flow of water. Okay, so the flow of water will commence only after starting the pump when the increasing pressure head of water in the impeller due to the centrifugal force is greater than, or it should overcome the available manometric head. Okay, or I can say that for the pump to start, actually for the pump to start, this centrifugal head should be so developed that it should be at least equal to the manometric head. Means it should be greater than or equal to the manometric head. Okay, so it should overcome the manometric head for the pump to actually start. Okay, so centrifugal head developed should be greater than or equal to HM for the pump to start. Okay, so u2 square minus u1 square by 2g should be greater than or equal to hm if I write it in a mathematical way. Hm, I told you, it is a manometric head. What is manometric head? The actual head that is available. Okay, the actual head that is available from the impeller to the pump casing exit. Okay, so now we are focused mainly on the minimum starting speed. This is the condition to be fulfilled. So minimum starting speed is when u2 square minus u1 square by 2g is equal to hm. It should be greater than or equal to, but for a minimum starting speed it should be equal to hm. Okay, so we will consider only the minimum starting speed. So u2 square minus u1 square divided by 2g should be equal to hm. This is the condition for the minimum starting speed of the centrifugal pump. Okay, now let's start the derivation. Okay, so now we'll start with, you remember what was the expression of manometric efficiency? It was hm divided by VW2 U2 divided by G. Okay, please go back to the previous lecture. I have told you about the eta mano equation. It is hm divided by VW2 U2 divided by G. So from this we will get an expression for manometric head. So what is hm then? Hm is equal to eta mano into this one. Okay, VW2 into U2 divided by G. Is that okay? I have just taken what is the hm value from this particular equation. Okay, so let this be our equation 1. Keep this as our equation 2. Now we will substitute this one in equation 1. But before substituting hm, I am going to replace u1 and u2 with pi d1 n by 60 and pi d2 n by 60. Okay, you know that u1 is pi d n by, u is pi d n by 60. So u1 is pi into d1 into n by 60 and u2 is pi into d2 into n divided by 60, where d1 d2 are the dia of the impeller and then at the inlet and outlet, and n is the rotation in rpm, rotational speed in rpm. So u2 square by 2g minus u1 square by 2g equal to hm. Okay, so if you look at the equation here, g and g will get cancelled, right, if I substitute for hm. So I can write it as u2 square minus u1 square, or let me write it so that you are not confused, equal to, I am going to substitute for hm eta mano into VW2 into u2 divided by g. Is that okay? G gets cancelled. So what is left? u2 square minus u1 square is equal to 2 into eta mano into VW2 into u2. So instead of writing u2 u1, I am writing pi d2 n square, pi d2 n by 60 the whole square minus pi d1 n by 60 the whole square equal to, this 2 I am taking this side. So 2 into eta mano into VW2 into u2 divided by g. Okay, very simple derivation as of now. So what is common here? Pi square n square is common and 60 square is also common, right? So pi square n square 60 square, what is left here? d2 square minus d1 square is equal to 2 into eta mano into VW2 into, here this g will not be there, it is already cancelled away. Okay, instead of u2 I am again writing pi d2 n by 60. Okay, so then what happened? One pi gets cancelled from here, one n will also get cancelled from here. So pi n divided by 160 will also get cancelled here. So pi n by 60 is left out. d2 square minus d1 square is equal to 2 into eta mano into VW2 into d2. Pi n by 60 d2 square minus d1 square equal to 2 into eta mano into VW2 into d2. Okay, so we need minimum starting speed, right? So what is our starting speed in rpm? It will be, so we need expression for n. So we will get from simplification n is equal to 60 into 2, it is 120 into eta mano into VW2 into d2 divided by, what is left from here? Pi d2 square minus d1 square. Final expression for minimum starting speed, n is equal to 120 into eta mano into VW2 into d2 divided by pi d2 square minus d1 square, where eta mano is the manometric efficiency, Vw2 is our velocity of whirl at the outlet, d2 is the dia at the outlet, and d1 is the dia at the inlet. Okay, so very simple derivation. Minimum starting speed, just the condition you have to remember, the centrifugal head should be greater than or equal to the manometric head. Okay, so centrifugal head, our expression was u2 square minus u1 square by 2g, and manometric metric head is hm, which we get it from our equation of manometric efficiency.